Howdy, my name is Brian DuPont, and this is my tribute speech. Now, when I first read the instructions for this speech, I automatically knew who I was going to be talking to y'all about today. My dad, Kevin DuPont, is my personal role model, and he's someone I strive to be like on an everyday basis. Whether it be just how he carries himself or how he does with his career, it's just everything about him I strive to be like that. It has very many qualities that I admire. I'll be sharing some of those qualities with y'all today, but first I'd like to tell y'all a little bit more about my dad's background, history, and stuff like that. My dad, Kevin DuPont, spent most of his younger life in Dallas, Texas, where he graduated from Kimball High School, which is actually in Oak Cliff now. Like, it's a pretty bad part of town, but back then it wasn't nearly as bad as it is today. He grew up with a single mother and 4 brothers and sisters. So as y'all can imagine, like the money was pretty tight. And the adversity he had to overcome just to make it into college is outrageous. And it's something I admire a lot because I had it so easy. And so the only way he was going to make it to college was by a scholarship. And whether it be academic or athletic, he was going to have to get a scholarship to make it. And my dad was in high school. He played a bunch of sports. He played football, basketball, baseball. He wrestled. He'd play anything that you could play pretty much. So he was pretty preoccupied with all that stuff. So I guess school wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying he had bad grades, but academic scholarships pretty out of the picture. So my dad ended up getting a scholarship to wrestle at the University of Oklahoma. He spent 2 years at the University of Oklahoma wrestling, where he then suffered a knee injury, blew out one of his knees, making it where he couldn't wrestle anymore. So there went his scholarship, and there went his funds for his school. So he actually had to leave without getting his degree, which it haunts him to this day. He wishes he could have figured something out to make it those last 2 years and get his degree. It would have made his journey through his career just a little bit easier on him, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that just now. Whenever he had to leave Oklahoma, he had met my mother previously, and they got married before they came back. And when they did get married, they moved back to Dallas, Texas, in the Oak Cliff area, where my dad landed a job with someone called Longhorn Building Materials. I mean, he landed the lowest slot you could get. And he thought it was just temporary, like eventually getting a promotion into something. He was a stock boy for 7 years. So until he was about 27 years old, he was a stock boy. And he stayed with it. I mean, that's pretty tough, if you ask me, being a stock boy for 7 years when you're 27 years old. But he stuck with it, and it paid out. It paid out great for him. After those 7 years, his boss came up to him and said, "Hey, you've been here for 7 years. Would you like to be a sales rep?" Of course, he thought that was the best thing that ever happened to him. It was a dream come true for him. He was going to be making more money, more hours, just with more kids being born, me and my 2 other brothers. It was all that he needed at that time. So for 13 more years, my dad worked as a sales rep. After 13 years, you kind of strive for something more. My dad, being the person he was always striving to get something, but he was always respectful, and that's something I really do admire about him. First of all, sticking as a stock boy for 7 years, and then sticking as the same job for 13 years without a promotion. Watching other guys get promotions, watching other guys become sales managers, watching other guys become sales managers at a new branch they've opened over 13 years. Something I really admire about him. But after 13 years, on his 20th year of being there, the owner actually had to, it was time for him to retire. And he didn't have any sons or anything, or no one to pass the company to. So he put it in his 2 most trusted workers' hands, and he gave my dad and his colleague this company. And we'll say co-manage it together, but that is the biggest blessing, not just to my dad, but to our whole family, because obviously there was a little bit more kicking income coming in now. So that was something cool, and he just, being that he was in there for 20 years, just really says something to me, and He's the most selfless person I know, honestly, which is something pretty much anyone can admire. Just putting everyone else before you. It's just something great to have about yourself. Now, I want to do something like that with my life. I strive to be someone like that, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people, really. Uh, I want to honor what he worked so hard for doing by eventually taking his spot with the business. I'm actually a business management major here at Blinn, and I will be getting my associate's degree and hopefully transferring into another business school, whether it be Mays or just anywhere else. Um, this way, I know the more proper tools with getting at least an associate's degree. I know the proper tools to run a business and such, and not. It took my dad over the years of just watching people and mentoring other people, just like I mentor with, like my dad's my mentor. Uh, but I already have some of the skills needed when I'm fresh out. So I know I'm going to have to work hard for it, and it's not something that's going to be handed to me because that's just not who my dad is. He doesn't just hand you stuff. He makes you work for it. But I'm truly blessed with the opportunities I have in front of me, and I'm going to make it a reality, and I know I will. And I'm truly blessed to have my dad in my life, and it just wouldn't be the same if I didn't have him. Not everyone has the opportunity I had before me. I'm going to work hard to get what I want, and that's what he's instilled in me. Hard work pays off. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone else's speeches and about who they've put their speech about as a tribute speech, because if the person you're talking about means as much as my father means to me, then I know you'll have a good time telling us about your person. Thank y'all, and gig 'em.